5. This is again a refresher of your BMAT class. And I'm going to focus on the calculator method because using the appendix method is very out of date. That hasn't been done for like literally decades now. So in part A, it simply wants to find out the amount that you have to invest today, which means it'd be present value. Receive $12,000 in 6 years at 12%. You need to make sure your calculator is on N mode. So if you have a BA2 plus and you look in the top right hand corner, if it's blank, that's good. If it says BGN, you'll have to change it. Make sure you go second and the PY, which is above the IY button, and make sure that you set your calculator onto 1. So when you go into second, PY, you'll see it says PY, make sure that's set to be 1. That will be annual mode, which we'll use almost throughout the entire course. So you go 1, enter, and you go second, quit. So the period of time is 6 years, so N is 6. The interest rate is 12%. If you remember correctly from BMAT class, you don't enter it as 0.12, you enter it as 12. It expects you to enter the interest rate for the IY button as a percentage, so you don't have to convert it to a decimal. And you see that the answer is 6,080 using the calculator, which is slightly different than the old-fashioned way of using the table because the calculator is actually more precise. Now, in part B, same thing, just different numbers. Different period of time of 15 years. Interest rate is 8%. You're also calculating present value, and you wind up with $4,729. Same thing for C. So it's very repetitive at this point. Now, in part D and part C, you should realize that it is an annuity because it says 5,000 each year. So part C, you need to make sure that you put the 5,000 in as PMT, and N is 10, IY is 8, and you calculate PV. Make sure that FV is set to be 0. One of the ways you can do that is if you go second, clear TVM, which is above the FV button. Second clear work doesn't work. It works for other things. So if you want to start from 0 or blank, go second, clear TVM, and then all of your 5 buttons, assuming again you're using a BA2 plus calculator, are all cleared out. So you see the final answer for C is 33,550. Now, if you want to change your calculator to begin mode, you go second set, which is the enter button. Sorry, second begin. Then you go second set, and it'll toggle it. So if your calculator was on N mode, which probably it is, now you'll see BGN on the left-hand side of your BA2 plus, and in the top right, you'll see BGN. So you'll need that for part D. So you can just toggle off and on. Be careful. Almost all the calculations in this course are N mode. So if you want to put it on one of the two, make sure your calculator is on N mode. And then parts E and F are the same, except the amount of money has changed, the time has changed. But the only difference between E and F is E is at the end of the period and F is at the beginning of the period. So I hope that is nice and clear. And that's a review of how to calculate present value for single amounts of money, also for annuities, for at both beginning and end modes.